Now for our next speaker, as the Australian High Commissioner to Ghana, I'm very pleased and honoured to introduce the Honourable George Mireku Duka, Deputy Minister of Lands and Natural Resources of Ghana. The Honourable George Mireku Duka studied in oil and gas management at the University of Plymouth in the UK, and also holds a bachelor degree in education and accounting. He was first elected as an MP in 2017 and served as the chair of the Minerals Incomes Investment Funds from 2019 to 2021. He was re-elected as an MP in 2021 and subsequently appointed Deputy Minister of Lands and Natural Resources. Minister Duka participated in last year's ADU in Perth, and his constituency, Tarkwa, in Ghana's southwest, is a significant gold mining region. He believes strongly in developing a sister city relationship between Tarkwa and Perth. With that, I ask that you help me welcome to the stage the Honourable George Duka.
Colleague ministers, let me, on this occasion, specifically single out my colleague minister from Burkina Faso, who's dedicated his time to join me this evening to listen to this short speech. Representatives of government, the Ghana High Commissioner to Australia, the Australian High Commissioner to Ghana, the Executive Chairman of Paydet Media Limited, Mr. Bill Raypard, representatives from the private sector, captains of the mining industry, members of the diplomatic corps, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I am delighted to be here today to share with you opportunities in Ghana's mining sector along with recent policies or initiatives adopted by the government of Ghana. I bring you warm regards from His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, under whose leadership Ghana has continued to strengthen its ties with the Commonwealth of Australia, particularly in the mining industry. Permit me at this point to congratulate the conference organizers for putting together such an excellent annual event, which for 2 decades has provided a platform for engagement on matters in the mining industry and geared towards strengthening Australian-African relationship in the industry. I am particularly grateful to the Executive Chairman of Paydet and his team for the invitation to be part of this year's edition of the African Down Under. It is indeed always refreshing and rewarding to be part of this conference. It has grown in leaps and bounds to become a mining event that has undoubtedly led to the birth of many successful business ventures between Africa and Australia. Ladies and gentlemen, originally known as Gold Coast, Ghana is synonymous with gold mining dating back to the 15th century, when the country accounted for about a third of global production. Though subsequently challenges led to a decline up to the mid-1980s through various laws and policies, the industry has been revived, leading to Ghana becoming the #1 producer of gold in Africa between 2019 and 2020, and the 6th in the world. The mining industry's contribution to Ghana's economy has been phenomenal, with gold alone providing approximately 40% of our export earnings and accounting for more than 90% of our gross mineral revenues. Indeed, amid the global pandemic, which disrupted global supplies and slammed national economies, the industry stood firm and played an essential role in our recovery. In addition to gold, we mine bauxite, manganese, and diamonds. There are also deposits of other green minerals like lithium and iron ore, base metals such as copper, zinc, nickel, chromium, and lead, and vast deposits of industrial or development minerals, including sand, gravel, granite, and salt. Ladies and gentlemen, our national constitution, which forms the basis of our legal and regulatory regime, vests all minerals in their natural state in the President of Ghana on behalf of and in trusts for the people of Ghana. No individual, thus, owns any mineral in its natural state in the country, and no one can grant a concession for the exploitation of our mineral resource apart from the government. There are about 23 large-scale mining operations in the country, with 21 producing gold and other 2 producing manganese and bauxite, respectively. The companies operating these mines include Australian Atlantic Lithium, that is going to speak soon, Persis Mining Limited, and Azuma Resources. Let me put on record that Atlantic Lithium and Azuma Resources, hopefully, may commence construction and development by the end of 2023. These companies are supported by some 235 companies offering various engineering and mine support services such as drilling, contract mining, and assaying services. Our diamond is produced mainly from small-scale mining, but has a massive potential for viable large-scale operations. Industrial minerals that anchor the country's infrastructural development are also being exploited, with clay, feldspar, limestone, salt, granite, sand, kaolin being the key ones mined across the nation by over 110 licensed quarry operations. There are over 200 exploration projects, mainly targeted at gold, lithium, copper, cobalt, and graphite. Recent geological investigations have also indicated viable prospect for iron ore, nickel, zinc, chromium, lead, and tantalite. However, the priority of the government of Ghana continues to be the translation of minerals mined into wealth to benefit all stakeholders equitably, including larger populace as optimally as possible. The government is therefore mindful of the need to implement mining-friendly policies to sustain these achievements while ensuring environmental sustainability and protecting interests of citizens and investors alike. Notably in Ghana, the rule of law is a norm and not the exception. It is the pivot around which our governance architecture revolves. With a stable democracy spanning over 30 years, peaceful elections, and successful change of government from one political party to another, investors are assured of the protection of their rights, regardless of the outcome of national elections. Our respect for the rule of law has earned us the enviable title of the beacon of democracy in Africa. Anchored on this business-friendly environment, the government of Ghana continues to adopt policies to improve transparency in the industry and pursue its goals of beneficiation and value addition, upstream and side-stream linkages to ensure a win-win outcome for investors and the host country. In the last few years, the government has prioritized improving the business environment through regulatory reforms and reducing bureaucracies and bottlenecks associated with doing business in the country. This has led to the introduction of a Mineral Cadastral Administration System, MCAS, to improve mineral licensing administration. This system, together with the online application for mineral rights, improved access to information and transparency in administration, has enhanced the ease of doing business in the mining industry in Ghana. Our laws have several provisions that make the mining sector in Ghana investor-friendly. These include stability clauses that insulate investors from changes in laws and policies after acquisition of their mineral rights, respect for the sanctity of contracts and accrued rights, capitalization of expenditure on reconnaissance and prospecting, payment of concessionary rates, of import duties on plant and machinery imported for mineral operations, and transferability of capital. That means there wouldn't be any change of the rules at the middle of the game. Additional benefits include exemption of staff from the payment of income tax on furnished accommodation at mine sites, immigration quota regarding an approved number of expatriate personnel, and personnel remittance quota for expatriate personnel free from tax. The fiscal regime, which includes a 20% straight-line capital allowance and a 5-year loss carry-forward provision, is designed to support mining projects whilst optimizing the government's share of revenues for developing a vibrant industry. Apart from the traditional minerals, we are known for a committed to diversifying our mineral resource base. The energy transition, which is dependent on green minerals, required for producing batteries for electric vehicles to replace fossil fuel-dependent ones, makes this diversification even more paramount. Luckily, as indicated earlier, we are endowed with a number of these green minerals, notably lithium, cobalt, nickel, graphite, rare earth elements, iron, copper, phosphate, which are at various stages of exploration. The Australian companies Atlantic Lithium and Custom Minerals are heavily involved in lithium and graphite. Our policy for the development of these minerals is to pursue a path that fosters optimal socio-economic development through effective and efficient exploitation and management of Ghana's green minerals, and contributing positively to dealing with the climate change phenomena, working towards the net zero emission target, and collaborating with other relevant stakeholders in employing climate-friendly technologies and practices to achieve the maximum developmental impact for the country. Ladies and gentlemen, we therefore committed to working with all stakeholders to optimize as much as possible the development of the entire value chain of these minerals of the future in our country by adding value to the minerals mined and contributing significantly to the global transition. There are also opportunities for investment in mine support services, including contract mining, drilling and blasting, equipment assembling and supply, and laboratories for assaying. The strategic location of Ghana allows investors to use Ghana as a base for their operations in the West African region. Accra, our capital city, as the host of the new and revolutionary African Continental Free Trade Area, is already opening the doors to investors to tap into the vast African market. Indeed, exciting times lie ahead of us, and you cannot find a better time to make that investment decision than now. Apart from these new minerals, the government is also committed to adding value to our traditional minerals and ensuring that they have adequate linkages to other sectors of the economy. We have therefore established, through Act of Parliament, the Ghana Integrated Aluminium Development Corporation and the Ghana Integrated Iron and Steel Development Corporation to promote and develop in our country integrated aluminium and iron and steel industries from mining through refining to downstream production. GISDEC, as I've already indicated, is engaging with investors for bauxite mining and refining into alumina, as well as seeking a strategic partner for the second largest smelter in sub-Saharan Africa, the Volta Aluminium Company Limited, VALCO, to modernize and expand its operations to feed the downstream aluminium industry. GISDEC, on the other hand, has developed a master plan for the integrated iron and steel industry and is engaging with investors to develop the various phases of the value chain. And I believe you will be on board. With over 1.5 billion tons of iron ore at an average grade of 40% of iron oxide, there is enormous potential for investors in this industry. The development of these two industries together with the future green minerals, particularly lithium, is expected to propel the industrial transformation agenda of the government of President Akufo-Addo to bring much needed development to the people of Ghana and give maximum returns to investors. Always remember that an emerging automobile industry is being constructed in Ghana with global giants such as Volkswagen, Toyota, Nissan, Sinotruk, etc., already setting up in Ghana. All these fit into our industrialization agenda. Ladies and gentlemen, Ghana's significant mining sector and its solid political stability, anchored on a vibrant democratic culture, make her conducive for investment. We aim to make Ghana the mining hub of Africa, where all mining and mining-related activities, from exploration to downstream production and research to innovation, will be centered. This requires continuously engaging industry players and other resource-rich countries, building the right and strategic partnerships, making discoveries and innovations through research and development, sharing policies and learning from each other to improve the sector and ensure that the industry contributes meaningfully to sustainable development. We do all this in an atmosphere of transparency and accord with the highest standards of integrity. Let me assure the investor community of a safe and easy access to geological information, good mining governance institutions, and highly skilled mining personnel. These have contributed to Ghana becoming a leading mining enclave in Africa. And I invite you to take advantage of these opportunities. We look forward to continuous engagement through new and existing platforms and working together for a responsible and sustainable mining sector that benefits investors and our country. Ghana, with her open society, vibrant economy, resilient democratic institutions, and where respect for individual liberties, the rule of law, and the principles of democratic accountability are ingrained into her body politic, is ready for business. Distinguished guests, ours is an exciting journey, and we call on you to join us on this thrilling march into the future. Let us join hands and move forward together. Thank you very much for the audience.